Hey guys, this is going to be a new YouTube series where we will be recording my morning streams. I stream almost every morning while I trade stocks, so I figured this would be a good learning experience for those of you that want to pick up some tips and tricks on how to day trade a little bit better. This may seem a little confusing at first, but none of this is scripted because it comes directly from my stream. You may hear me answering questions from people asked in the live stream occasionally, so bear with me if it doesn't make sense for me to be saying something. Besides that, I hope you enjoy watching it. You can glean some information from it. If you want to watch our streams live and trade with us, follow the link in the description to our Discord. Thanks, guys. All right, guys, good morning. Let's take a look at some of the stocks we have going today. Today, we're looking at MITQ. It's been doing okay. We chart our support and resistance lines. We have stock that hasn't really been holding a lot of momentum in the market lately. It had some okay news, nothing fantastic. A lot of the stocks today don't really have fantastic news, but they all have something to say. We do have this below that 200 EMA line currently, so it's not looking too hot. Probably not something we'll touch right away unless we see it break above. We've got VLON here, VLON. Started out around $1.20, ended up around 240, so we have a major run up already. It looks like it's still bullish. It's going to keep going. We are very far away from that 200 EMA, but the 200 EMA is pulling up quite a bit, so we've got some good news with that. We have already broken the high. So we expect this to probably take off on open. Maybe it'll come back down close to that VWAP band first, where the market's opening right now. So we're going to see. VLON looks like it wants to take off. So this is probably going to be our opportunity to jump in on VLON. I don't really want to jump in too high. We do have a support line around 230. So hopefully we can maintain that. So let's try to get in around that's a 9 EMA at 237. So let's go for 235 maybe if we can. We're going to aim for 260. And then we're going to put a stop loss down at 220. Yeah, let's give it a 225 stop. So we'll see if we can manage that. Where stop loss is going to be 225. So right here. Perfect. We'll see when that comes back down. MITQ not really doing a whole lot. We've got DAIO not really doing much. We have BCAP really not moving at all. I didn't expect that to move when we see stocks like that. They generally don't do anything. We have, what is this one? ATEN, not really moving too much yet. We haven't really seen a lot of price action out of a couple of these, so I'm not really sure what to expect out of some of them. We have HCDI starting to move up, breaks through that 200 EMA, so that's good news. We have Indo, which is, at previous runner, could potentially start to move today, and LLAP looking like it's heading down. VLON still sitting around that 250 mark. We have MITQ starting to move up. Looks like it just got rejected off of that 200 EMA. And we'll sit here for a minute and see if this breaks through. VLON almost at 260 now. So looking not too bad on VLON. MITQ gets rejected pretty hard here. VLON 264. I definitely got in late on VLON. So I'm looking to get a little bit more profit than that 260 anyway. We're going to have to see how high we can get this. I might end up cutting and leaving a runner fairly soon here because we are very overextended. Yeah, let's cut around here and leave a runner. So cutting and leaving 30% runner. Got it, right. Okay. And for those of you that check the trade tracker, I've been putting in which ones I have a runner on. Sometimes I don't really fill in the price that I took profits out of the runner at, but for the most part, we are keeping track of the ones that did have runners. MITQ dropped hard, DAIO not really doing much, A10 looking like it's moving up. We did see from 1470, 1495. I'm really not liking the range, the price range on this. It's too high, and we're not seeing too much of a movement. Even this movement on the stocks we normally play, we get a couple percent out of it. This, not really. Nothing really there, so I think we're just going to leave it be for now. HCDI is breaking above that 200 EMA, did break that VWAP line, all looking good. We are at the top of this band here, so I don't really feel like touching that quite yet. MITQ looks like it's starting to break back above that support line. for what is right now a resistance line. So hopefully we see this start to move up, break through that 200 EMA. Going to be a tough call on that one. Indo starting to drop. We've got LLAP not really moving. We've got HCDI starting to come back down. We have A10 still kind of doing its thing. DAIO not really moving. We're going to close that chart. Vlon down to 247. We could take a potentially another position on this. We still have a runner in it, but we could open up another one. I'd like to see if this comes down to the support line here at 230, possibly even VWAP line 226. I doubt we'll get there. This is a very bullish stock, so I think we're just going to have to kind of sit here and watch it for a little bit and see what happens. MITQ breaking above. That's the kind of bullishness I wanted to see. I'm willing to take a chance on that then. About one, we're going to see this come down a little bit here. So maybe 150, 152 would be ideal. We're going to aim for about $1.65, and then we're going to have a 148 stop. So hopefully we get down to 152. I don't know if we will. I think we might have to jump in a little bit high. I was kind of hoping we would get another chance of getting in low. I don't think it's going to happen. At least not that low. Blonde's looking good. We did see it pull back to that 9 EMA. It looks like it's bouncing off healthily. Healthily? Is that even a word? We've got HCDI. Still won't be able to break that 250 resistance line. We are seeing a wall there. Not a very big one, but I think it's got to consolidate a little bit. So probably drop back down to this VWAP line, maybe even to the support line and 200 EMA. Indo back up to $19. LLAP not really moving. We have a couple things popping up on the scanner. Nothing really new. RVNC maybe we can take a look at. RVNC, not really the price range I like, so we're going to say no to that. The rest of these not looking too great. We have some things slightly in the red that might rebound. We've got dogs showing up. This has potential. Not great potential or anything, but we could keep it open for now and see. There's that pullback on HCDI we were talking about, blowing back down to 250. MITQ still hovering around that 158 mark. It did come down to about 154. It's probably about as close as we're going to get. So hopefully you jumped in at some point here. We're looking to see if this breaks that 160 resistance. If it does, we'll probably see this hit 165, no problem. And then we can cut and probably leave a runner. So we did break that resistance. We're 1 cent off. I think I'm getting ready to cut and leave the runner now. PT, do I call this PT? We're pretty close. Will we hit it? I'll just wait a second, I think. There it is. PT, MITQ, leaving a runner. So we did hit up to 166 on that. Not bad. Not the best trade, but it was pretty good considering the price point we're playing at, getting in around 154, 155. Looking good. We broke that resistance there as well. We are headed up very, very high. We're at 174. Good place to cut a little bit. So now we're just waiting to see if it's going to hold at this 170 resistance or keep going. We're at 180 now. The stock is going crazy. Ader, we're going to talk about Ader again. All right. Well, we'll pull up the chart here in a second for it. Hit as high as 180 there. Definitely take profits. Take profits on MIT. It's definitely annoying to have to type this out in the Discord. One day I hope we get away from that altogether and we can just sit in a room together and trade. Vlon looking okay. It looks like it's heading back up. We did have a dip down to 234. If I'd seen that dip, I probably would have bought in again. But we still have the runner. We're back up to 266. Not looking too bad. Wow, that was a... Wow. Wow. The dogs just went from 660 all the way down to 580. That was a massive drop. So you're not going to be playing that, but that's fun to watch. I don't even want to try that as a recovery play. So we'll open up Ader. I don't know why I closed down dogs to open up another one. Ader's definitely going. I really don't like playing Ader, but it's fun to watch sometimes. We've got Sin, previous runner, looking okay. We do see it sitting up fairly high over here. We don't need these support and resistance lines. We could probably put in new ones if we want to, but we'll get to that when the market kind of slows down. I'd like to see this pick back up and stay above the 200 EMA and the VWAP, so we'll have to see about that. MITQ all the way back down. We did see a massive run. That bottom band is opened up pretty wide, so I am good to just kind of wait and see if it holds at this 200 EMA. If not, then we'll wait and see if it holds that 150 mark, and if it does not, then we'll let it go. But it does look like it's going to hold at this 200 EMA so far, so we could potentially look at another MITQ play here. 150... What's that 200 EMA? 155. So let's try for a 158 or something. We're going to try for a 170 and then a 150. Let's go for a 153 stop. I'd rather get in a little bit lower than 158. If we could get like 156 or 155 right on that VWAP line, that would be great. And then we can have a 152 stop. So our stop loss can be right here. We'll just take another play on MITQ. Okay. Vlon not looking too bad, but we are breaking into a range here. Not exactly what we want to see. HCDI looking a little bit better. We did break that high, so that's what we were hoping to see on this. It does look like it is starting to move a little bit more. We are seeing less conviction. The bodies on these candles are really small. So we're going to have to give this a little bit of time and see if it chooses an actual direction here. Ader is still going. Sin coming back up. I really don't like that 200 EMA is higher than the VWAP, but we'll come back to that in a minute. We do have Lon sitting down very far. We did almost stop out on that with the runner if you're still holding it. We are probably going to take another play if it holds on that MACD. So we're going to look at a 235 entry. That's on 235. We're going to aim for 260 again. Not 360, 260. And then a 2... Yeah, getting a 235 is pretty high for that stop loss that we need. Because I don't really want to give it 10 cents, but we can try. We've been having some decent luck with this, so I'll accept another 225 stop. And that's a Vlon entry. We do have MITQ starting to run here. It's looking really good. Vlon very close to entry. Anywhere around here is good for an entry price. MITQ up pretty high right now. We just about touched that $170 mark, which would be PT. Feel free to take profits whenever. I think I'm going to cut here and leave a runner again. Cutting MITQ, leaving a runner. It is looking pretty good. I do think it could potentially go higher, but we are overextended. We do see a lot of volume coming up. We do have a very big wall here at 170, so chances are we might see this not break 170 this time around. But I'm happy to leave a little bit in the trade. Just let it do its thing. And we are making good money. That's almost 20 cents on a $1.50 stock. That's pretty good. That's definitely definitely something we can work with. Vlon down pretty low, 233. Gonna jump in here on Vlon. I could give the stop a little bit more room, but honestly, I'm still okay with where it's at. I don't know if we're gonna hit it, but I really don't want to maximize the risk for that. HCDI is starting to pick a direction here. We are breaking through those resistances. Looking good on that. I think we're probably primed to take an entry on it. I'm not quite sure how confident I am on that yet because both bands are opening up. There's so much room here for error. I think I'm going to leave it for now. Indo starting to move up still, very, very slowly. Ader still going. Sin really not moving too much. Nothing new on the scanner. Let's see. We've got Lon still kind of struggling, but we are back up to 235, so we are in profit on that. MITQ did break that 170, hit 174. Looks as if it's going to potentially keep going. This is a very bullish candle for me so far. Not very strong yet, but there we go. Need more caffeine. We're at 172, not bad. I don't think we're gonna get higher. I think I'm good at cutting the runner. Now, you know what? It's too risky. I feel like this could definitely hit up all the way up to at least 180 again. We might even get higher than 180 this time. If we do, that would be very bullish. So, hoping for that. Top band still opening up. Bottom band still pretty wide, but I'm not too scared. We have lots of volume, and it's mostly green volume. I'm not seeing any walls on the DOM yet, so we're looking pretty okay right now. We did hit 175 there, so we did make a new slight high. We're bound to come back down for a little bit of a pullback, but we are making new highs. There's a lot of selling pressure up here. That's what I'm seeing up there. So I think I'm gonna cut and just leave a very small runner. So cutting more MITQ and leaving a little bit left. It's up to about a 174 average. And then we're going to leave, I think we're down to 5%, which is like almost nothing. But, you know, it would be fun if it hit like $2.30 or something. So we did stop out on Vlon. Not exactly what we were hoping for off it, but a good thing I didn't raise that stop loss because it would have still hit anyway. So was kind of expecting something like that out of the stock. It wasn't super bullish. And it's a good thing we didn't take an HCDI play as it is heading back down now. We just need to see how far down. It did break through that support line at 259, which was to be expected because it hasn't been tested and holding quite yet. Looks like it's breaking back above and it is still bullish. I don't really like this whole ramp up of volume without something on the other side. We might hit volume exhaustion here and this could come back down so even further. So we'll have to see. MITQ sitting fairly low. We might see a VWAP play here. We'll have to see about that. Yes, I am in MIT. Well, I'm out of MITQ. I missed your question. I wasn't really looking at the chat. It'd be really cool if I could just put the alerts right into this channel so I can see you guys talking as I'm doing my thing rather than having to switch to a separate channel to put in the alerts. But that actually might be something I talk to KSauce about. That could be helpful for me. MITQ not looking too hot. We might see a bounce off of we broke through a couple support lines. We broke through that VWAP line, so hopefully it might hold here and bounce back up. We haven't gone too far down from that VWAP line, but if we do end up going down further, it'll probably bounce off that 200 EMA. So I'd like to see some bullish pressure one way or another out of this. We haven't made a new low, so this is kind of nice to see the whole, ramp up. Let's see, making higher lows is what it's called. MITQ. We could try another trade. Well, it's a little high now, but I'd like to get him maybe 165. We could try for 175 and then a 160 stop loss. 160. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of that, but we could try it. I don't want to give it more room than that. We don't really need to be risking a huge amount on this. So give it 5 cents from wherever you get in. Hopefully that's at 165. MITQ. And I gotta say, out of this and Vlon, I honestly thought Vlon was going to be the big winner today, but it turns out MITQ is just doing much, much better right now. Oh, misspelled MITQ. Tracker. Vlon's at support. Yeah, it's around that level. We can hope that it holds here. I think we're likely to see this continue down. It's very far away from that 200 EMA, so price actions like an elastic band, it'll find its way back there in no time. HCDI continues to run. We are seeing a fair bit of volatility in this stock. There's money to be made. It scares me a little bit because it is ultra volatile and we could end up getting stopped out really quickly if we pick a bad entry. I say like anywhere around this 260 level is probably good. We could try an HCDI trade. So we're probably looking to get in around 263. We might get a little lower, might have to get a little higher. We're going to look to hit at least 280 out of it, and then a 250, give it a 257 stop. So our stop loss is going to be right here, right at the bottom of that low there. 260 jumping in here. Oh, got an even lower, I think. No, got it at 260. That's fine. So I'm going to give it a couple extra cents of room since we got it at 260 instead of 265. We'll move it down to 253. Moving SL down on HCDI. 260. Looking good. We're a couple cents up on that. MITQ looking good as well, 268. Not great or anything. I think there's still quite a ways to go on that. Vlon might, it kind of looks like it's curling up here. I'm not keen on touching it quite yet. ACDI back down to that 260 mark. This is that ultra volatile stock. This is not what we want to see. We don't want to see a big wick on this. So this is not looking great, but we are right on a support line. That could potentially hold us. MACD's pointing down, heading down, but we do have some buying volume kicking up, so that's keeping us up for right now. Whether that's going to hold or not, we'll see. We are up pretty high on MITQ. We almost hit that 175 mark. I'm pretty sure that's what we were aiming for. Yep, 175. So there it is. That's PT on that. MITQ, once again, banking for us. Cutting and leaving a runner. Because I think we could probably hit 280 off this again. I don't want to push too hard. But I do think we could get a little bit extra out of it. We'll have to see. Vlon is in fact coming back, so we could try another Vlon trade. This could be the stock that stops us out a couple times. So we're gonna go 220. We're gonna aim for 245, and we're gonna give it 210 as a stop. And that is pretty. That's a pretty big stop, but I think it's needed. I wanna be able to give this enough room that we don't instantly stop out on it. HCDI did come down, almost stopped us out. We got a bullish candle here though, so we are seeing some bullish pressure kicking up. Not sure if it'll be enough, but we're gonna see. Lawn. Okay. MITQ looking like it's gonna head down a little bit. We did hit 177 on its way back down for another consolidation. We might see it drop down to 165. This is where I would expect to see it probably stop, maybe down at VWAP at 163, and then start heading back up if it remains bullish. We have HCDI still struggling. I really don't like how much it's struggling here. We could take some small profits if we see some. Not quite. I'm not confident in this right now. Sin's still not really doing much. Ader still kind of sitting pretty high here and ranging quite a bit from 475 to 484. It's got this 10-cent range. It's always doing about a 10-cent range. I'm not really a huge fan of that around that price range. This one, another one, not really ranging enough to make it worth it. I'm just going to close that. We have enough to play anyway. MITQ looking okay, did drop down to 167. I thought it was going to drop down to 165. We're not quite there yet. But I'm happy to see a less of a pullback, that's for sure. HCDI, we are slightly in profits here. You could take a little bit off the table if you want to, just to secure some, because it wasn't looking bullish, but you know what? That MACD is starting to turn around. We are seeing an increase in volume, so it's not the worst. It's looking okay right now. I think we could potentially hit 270. We might even hit 280. If we make a new high, that'd be pretty nice. MITQ dropping down a little bit again. We did hit 166. We are getting closer to that 165 mark where I think we're going to hit. After that, we may hit as low as 163, and that's where I think it's going to stop. Can get rid of that. I don't want to crowd the chart too much. Vlon hasn't really moved too much from our entry point. Top band closing in, bottom band flat. Not necessarily the best sign. Not too keen on cashing out on it yet or anything. You never know with a stock like this. It could start to pick back up out of nowhere. So we're going to just wait and let it be. HCDI did hit almost 270 there. Looks like it's still got a lot of selling pressure left in it, but we are seeing higher highs being pushed, so not the worst case scenario for us. ADR not doing anything. LLAP, been kind of watching this one on the side, not really moving enough to make it worth it. Indo at 20 bucks now. We're finally past that. What's that called? The 200 EMA. Had a brain fart there. HCDI looking like it's moving back down a little bit here. Vlon moving up a little bit. If we break through this VWAP, that's going to be a good sign. If we get rejected off, it might be time to sell. MITQ still struggling. We did see that 165 mark now. We are heading down to that VWAP, it looks like. We have 164. Let's see if it holds. If it can hold at 163, we may end up in another play here. Did hit that 163 level. Looks like it's bouncing off quite a few times. We do have a big wall here, 180 orders coming through at 163 on the buy side, so hopefully this holds. This has seen a pretty decent bullish run for the morning. We have been playing this for 20 or so minutes, so it wouldn't surprise me to see this start to break down at least to the 200 EMA, but if it doesn't cross this VWAP line, I think this remains bullish as we see higher lows the whole way through. Vlon over here, I did take a nasty drop off of that, but we seem to have worked our way back up to 227, 228, 229, 230. Do we get rejected off the VWAP here? We do also have a resistance line there. It looks like we're going to get rejected. I didn't quite catch if there was a wall there or not, so I'm going to give it another chance, I think. Might be a mistake to give it another chance. I'd rather walk away with a little bit of profit than nothing, but we are very close to breaking that MACD as well, so yeah, not looking likely. I think I'm going to cut. We are going to cut Vlon with small profits. Oh, yeah. That's not what that was meant to look like. Use the wrong command for that. We still could break through. I'm just a little worried on this one. HCDI back to 259. We did drop as low as 255, almost to that stop. We did see a high of 268 or 269. Looking okay. It's kind of ranging, which is fine. We are just on that cusp, though. We are so close to stopping out on this when it hits the lows that we could still, fall and hit that stop. Good thing we cashed out on Blonde. Looks like it's heading back down, almost down to entry point. MITQ all the way back up. We did hit 176, so not the worst actually. Not the worst. I think I'm good to cut with the way this top band is looking. I think I'm good to cut our runners on MITQ. Wow, I almost did it again since I was cutting runners on MITQ. We're looking good on that. I like seeing it up here and that it didn't break down from that VWAP line. I think we should have taken a play off this. I stopped looking at it at the wrong time, but it's fine. We'll get more opportunities. Vlon's still kind of struggling. We did see a low of 219. We see both bands closing in, so we're probably due for this to stop ranging very hard, probably lowering volume, that kind of stuff. HCDI down again. Yeah, not a whole lot else so far. RDBX is popping back up. Looking half decent here. It is crossing that VWAP, is crossing the 200 EMA. However, they are flipped around, which is not something I like to see. We'll have to see if that potentially holds at this level or if we're looking at a rejection here. It looks like it's probably going to get rejected. We're just way overextended down here. HCDI still holding around that same level. I think we're probably gonna stop out on this. I'm seeing a lot of bearishness. If we break any sort of new low, this should just fall. It is been holding at this level 255 for a long time, so it's about time for it to break down, I think. You could take a exit here if you want to, or keep risking it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's only a couple extra cents if you do hold it, but tight risk management usually wins the day. So Vlon did take a nasty drop. It is a good thing we cut, and I would like to actually try buying back in here. Vlon, so 205, we're going to aim for we aim just for 220, and then just a $2 stop, I think. So our stop loss is going to be $2 right here. Get rid of that stop. So we made the right choice cutting where we did. Hopefully we make the right choice buying back in where we are. We're probably going to buy back in on the support line or around that 208, 209. 205 would be ideal. That would be great, but I don't quite think we're going to get there. And line 208. MITQ is still sitting at pretty high. If you haven't cut yet, it's giving you lots of opportunity to. We should see a low of probably 168, 167 before we make another high if this remains bullish. So hopefully we start to see that. We can jump back in. We are moving up on Vlon already. HCDI did exactly what I thought it was going to do. It made that new low and then just instantly dropped. We are seeing this drop down to this 200 EMA. Another opportunity to buy in if we want to. Could see a good recovery from this at this price point, but we are seeing a lack of volume right here. So that kind of worries me. I think I'm going to leave it be for now. We'll just take our stop and move on with it. MITQ all the way to 185. No dip. There is no dip. It'll come down. HCDI does look like it's going to make a recovery. I'm just not too... Well, you know what? That bottom band is starting to close in. I think that's going to be a good sign for us. So maybe we should try an HCDI trade. Yeah, I don't know about 250. Maybe like 240, 247, 248. That would be doable. We're gonna aim for 265. Pretty high up there. And then let's give it a 240 stop, I think. That's right on the support line, which is kind of an issue, but also not. Put a stop sign there, but oh, it didn't go through anyway. I moved our support line down 1 cent, but that'll be fine. So hopefully we get in on HCDI, Vlon back to 210, MITQ all the way up at that 180 mark. We're still waiting on that dip. RDBX didn't actually get rejected. It broke through, which is nice to see. We want that VWAP to start crossing back over that, what's that called? 200 EMA. Specifically with this stock, I keep forgetting what the 200 EMA is called. It's the same on every chart. We've got Ader. Did have a nice bounce off that 200. Looks like it's on its way back up, but it did get rejected off of the VWAP line twice now in a very bearish manner. So we'll have to come back to that. HCDI looking good. We're 258 on it. Maybe we can make back that stop and then some. Well, we can see. We might make it back. We are seeing, a lack of volume, but we are seeing the MACD turn around very sharply. We do have some bullish pressure picking up. We do have buy orders stacking on this side, so we have a lot of things going for us. We just need it to keep going that way now. Vlon sitting at 210, 211, 212, stuff like that. This looks like it's got no option other than to go up. So, of course, that's not true. There's always the possibility it drops. But as it stands, it seems like a very unlikely chance. So we see HCDI taking a little bit of a dip, MITQ, which MITQ would take that little bit of a dip because we are up very, very high, and I'm not keen on buying into something this high. not without a pullback. Even if we saw a pullback to 176, I would think that would be good enough. But again, we're going to have to wait and see. Sin breaking through, VWAP flipping with that 200 EMA. We're getting better with this. Sin's looking a little bit better. I don't think it's playable quite yet, but it's getting better. We have RDBX. Also kind of getting close to swapping those lines around. Vlon not doing too bad here, but not doing great either. We are moving up and down 1 or 2 cents. MITQ still sitting high. This is the kind of consolidation that leads me to believe that it's either going to rocket up or shoot down really quick. And with the history of the stock right now, it's looking like it might just go straight up. Still too high for me to buy into with my sort of conviction on stuff like this. We do have a lot of support at 175. I'd actually like to add that in there as a support line. My average on Vlon, 209. Yeah, currently sitting at 209 on Vlon. Seeing very little volume on it. Sin dropping back down quite a bit. RDBX not really doing a whole lot. HCDI back down to 250, 249. We'll see if this can hold. Vlon at 208. Bottom band starting to give way. Not really the best sign for us. I don't think I'll take a $2 stop on this, to be honest. I think if it starts to head down more than like 205, I'll definitely be looking to cut. I don't want this to make lows, and here we go. So I'm cutting. Cutting Vlon for a small loss. I didn't like that dip. Not what I was wanting to see out of that, so it almost worked out though. By the time I got around to actually cutting it, I got out of break even, so I should have held 2 seconds longer and could have made a couple cents on it, but it is what it is. HCDI on its way back up. We have MITQ with a huge drop. That's what we're buying on. Let's get into MITQ 160. We're aiming for probably 180 and then a 150. Let's give it a 153 stop. So it looks like our patience paid off on MITQ. Assuming this turns back bullish, but yeah, it looks like we had a whale sell there or something. We had a huge spike in volume, 3 million on the 1 minute, and just a massive drop in price from 187 all the way down to 159. Actually, down even further, 156. So crazy that didn't get SSR'd or halted there, but it is what it is. I guess we'll just ride it on its way back up. We still have a lot of bag holders, so they're going to keep us up. We have 190 buying, 280 selling, though, on that side. We're eating up those sell orders, though, so chances are this moves back up at least a VWAP. I think we can hit 180 no problem in the long run here. We'll have to see. We do have a fairly tight stop. We still do risk getting stopped out, but we'll, again, it's part of the risk. Vlon is going now. Look at that. It didn't stop us out. It came really close. I got shook and I canceled the trade, but if you held, it looks like you're going to win. I'm kind of curious to see how high Vlon goes. It's going to hit that PT no problem. I should have known around this right here where we're sitting there and it almost looks like a hammer candle. It is gonna hit 3 to spite me, I know it. MITQ down pretty far here. Looking a little bearish. Kind of worried about it. Sort of worried about it. We are very overextended on the downside, so I do think there's a good possibility we still recover from this. It's just whether or not it hits our stop first or if it goes down to that 150 support line. HCDI back up to 255. We could cut here. I have about 7 cents profit on this. Haven't really seen too much higher than that. We did slightly break almost to 260 or just touch 260, but I don't know. We might get there. Chances of hitting our stop here are very slim. So that's the good news. Blonde almost hit that PT. It was like 1 cent off, 2 cents off. Not bad, not bad. 212 now, it's back to 212. We have MITQ still struggling. We're still seeing some buying pressure kicking up, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to hold us. That 9 EMA took a nasty, nasty fall. HCDI stuck at that 255 point. Oh man, I really want to cut, but well, we did make a new high here, 256, so maybe it's not walled off. I don't want to pull another blonde and have it just move up on us. I'm not too salty about it because I got out at break even on blonde, but I mean, besides the fees, and the fees were kind of ridiculous for me at this point. I got charged 164 bucks each way. Yeah, I don't know about HCDI. I don't think it's going to stop us out, but it could be a while before we see any decent profits. Back up to 160 on MITQ, looking good. Back above that 200 EMA. Let's hope we can hold that now. Break that 160 resistance line. We'll have to see. Yeah, I don't know. Don't know about this one. We're at that point in the day where we start to sit on our hands. Ooh, big drop. Almost stopped us out. I don't know, man. There's a lot of sellers and a lot of buyers going on. Who's gonna win? I'm not sure. Oh man, I hope this recovers or else we're looking at almost nothing to play right now. Lawn's a possibility, but man, it's really not moving either. We hit 154 and our stop loss is 140 or 153. Mullen's going to, I feel like Mullen's going every day. It's like barcoding though, and it always does this barcoding where it like moves up and down like 2 cents, 3 cents. Oh man, MITQ is so close to stopping out, but we are seeing that MACD just, oh, there it is. Breaks my heart. MITQ, rest in peace. What did I get it at? It's gonna bounce off 150. I can't see this going much lower. We're so overextended with that MACD that it's probably gonna just bounce off this stop loss. I can almost guarantee it will. We are seeing some profits on HCDI. We are seeing it 265. That is our PT point. PT HCDI. You could leave a runner in this. I'll leave a small one. I'll leave a small one. That wasn't a terrible trade, honestly. That turned out half decent on HCDI. 248 to 265. That's not bad. We're seeing a little bit more, so it's a good thing I left a little bit in there. MITQ totally gonna bounce. HCDI starting to move up further. We're seeing a lot of bullishness, a lot of bullish volume kicking up, so some good stuff going on there. MULN not really doing a whole lot now. Sin could make new highs. There's a strong possibility that this starts to turn a little more bullish. We have seen it a lot higher, so the chance is there. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Fridays they're wacky. They're definitely wacky. Surprisingly, not the worst usually, but I feel like they die down a lot faster. Fridays are usually like it's almost like you should only play like the first 30 minutes on a Friday and then leave the rest to just kind of do its thing. HCDI is starting to come down. We hit a high of 267 there. Vlon's still struggling. I really don't want to take a play on this. There's just not enough volume. There's not enough price action involved. It's not moving. It's not really following too many rules right now. Bands are really tight, so nothing really there. MITQ is gonna. Oh, you know what? I am gonna try MITQ. I do have a lot of conviction with this stock right now. I think it's gonna bounce, so I'm gonna try to get it like as low as I possibly can. Hopefully 153, right where I stopped out. I'm gonna aim for 180. I really do think we can get back up there, and then a 145 stop. I'm gonna give it a half decent stop, but you know what? You don't even need that big of a stop. You could probably put 147 and be very, very safe with that. So I'd like to even tighten up that stop a little bit to 147. There's just I can't see a reason this stock would continue down much further than this. You know, if we hit any sort of other low, even to 150, we've got that support line there. And if it breaks 150, then it could continue its drop from, to 114, 115, something like that. But I doubt that's going to happen. I do think this is going to be bullish. We have had a couple opportunities to jump in pretty low here, as low as 153. So let's hope this starts to pick back up. I'm going to be jumping in here. Not moving that stop though. I'm quite content with where we have that stop. We did hit that PT on Vlon, and it actually, you know what? This isn't looking too bad. Those bands are tight, but that usually is a sign that if something's moving up and it's really tight, that usually means it's going to explode. So you could see this even hitting as high as maybe 230. Getting past 230, that's going to be a challenge. I should have. This is one of those times where I should have had more confidence in my own play, and I didn't. I do that at least once a day where I cut something because it just doesn't look good, and then it just moves up anyway. HCDI back up 265, so it's a good thing we haven't cut that runner yet, but I'm not sure if we're going to get much higher than this. We'll have to wait and see. We do see this still struggling at this price point. We are seeing this is very bullish, seeing these candles with long tails and no wicks. We are still seeing sell orders kind of stack up on this side, so we have enough buy orders to eat it up though, so that's why it hasn't really been moving yet. It's kind of a tug of war. I do think it's going to move back up. Vlon getting really close to hitting that 230 point. Indo back down. We're going to close down some of these charts that aren't doing anything so we don't have to really look at them. Sorry, Ader. You're definitely one of them. RDBX. You know what? There might be a play on that. This one's just overextended. It's going to take too long before it comes back down, I think. HCDI with a nasty drop down to 253. Vlon still at 227. We did hit that 230 on Vlon, so if you held till 230, congratulations. Will it go higher? That's going to be tough to say. We did see a nice increase in volume. We are positive on that MACD. However, we are right next to the VWAP line and a resistance line at the same time, which is a pretty strong resistance. MITQ looking a little more bullish now. Let's hope we can break back above this 200 EMA. We are seeing it pick back up. That MACD is curling up nicely. We need to see an increase in volume. That's what we're missing here now. Other than that, yeah, ACDI is looking okay. It's picking back up too. Vlon too high for me to even consider taking a play on it. If it dropped down suddenly, possibly take a play off that. Other than that, the only thing we're really in and watching right now is MITQ. Hoping to God this breaks through that 200 EMA and starts its long needed recovery. I think the only thing holding the stock up right now is the immense bag holders up here that didn't have a stop loss and just had to witness all of their profits and their portfolio disappear in one foul swoop. And they have their fingers crossed, hoping that it's going to move back up too. Hopefully, we get to see that. ACDI still doing okay. Lawn still staying up pretty high. We did actually pierce through a little bit. We might see this start to move up higher than 230 if it can hold around this level. There's quite a bit of a wall there, but looks like there's a lot of buyers at that 226, 227 area. 225 has a lot of buyers, a lot of bullish buyers at 225. Looks like we couldn't quite get through that 200 EMA yet. I think it's still bound to happen, just not quite yet. Full-on starting to head back down. It looks like we might be exhausting all those buyers. Sellers are probably going to win that. MITQ not looking too bad here. It's going okay. This isn't exactly what I was hoping for. We've got that top band closing in, bottom band is starting to close into, that's an okay sign, but we don't really want to see that closing in. We may see this start to pull up if this bottom band closes in more. We have that MACD starting to look like it wants to turn back around and head back down, which is also not a good thing. Might bail out of this. I think I'm going to bail out of it. Try and walk away with a couple cents profit. Bailing out of MITQ. You know what? If it starts to look good again, we can always jump back in. So I'm pretty happy to just take a couple cents profit here. Let it be. We'll see if we can jump back in at a later time, maybe. But as it stands, we see a couple things that I really don't want to see, and I don't know. It's looking iffy. It's looking too iffy, and we've already seen this have a sharp drop, so I don't want to be part of another sharp drop. Blonde's still holding pretty strong. We're still seeing some bullish candles forming, so it is right at the top of that band, though. It has so much going against it. If anything, I'd be shorting Blonde right now. HCDI at 270. We did hit 275. We still have our runner in there. I think you could probably take profits here if you want to. It's not going too bad. I think it's going okay here. Sin not really doing a whole lot. Blonde still kind of sitting there. Oh, don't need that. MITQ, it's doing its thing, which is a whole lot of nothing right now. I'd like to see that volume really start to pick up. That's what I'm waiting for. We need to see a little bit more conviction and buyer action in that place. Same thing with Blonde. Blonde did have that, and we saw it start to make moves. So we just need MITQ to kind of follow in its footsteps a little bit. Yep, HCDI is sitting pretty high still. Still waiting for Vlon to break that 330 and hold. HCDI, yeah, it is weird. That's why I haven't really been taking too many plays on this. It's like ultra volatile. It's all over the place. It's holding no patterns. It's not playing with support and resistance lines at all. You know, it's definitely just all over the place. So it's really hard to discern where you should be buying in and where you shouldn't. The only reason I got in a second time on this is because, you know, old trusty 200 EMA here and it held. So besides that, it's really hard to determine a good spot to jump in and jump out of this stock. Vlon not really doing a whole lot. We do see MITQ starting to make a move up. Don't see that volume accompanying it though. I think we're going to get rejected without that volume. Blonde is bullish. I would agree with you that Blonde is pretty bullish. I do think it's going to end up hitting a pullback though. I would say it's got maybe another minute or two, maybe 3 minutes before it starts to drop if it can't break through that resistance. It's not going to be able to sit up here forever and do nothing. It would be at that point where if I was in this trade, I'd be very, very worried holding on to this much longer. MITQ so far not picking up the volume it needs to actually move. We're seeing these bands start to really tighten in now. So it's probably going to hit a period of consolidation. We could have been holding fine at 152. And at this point, if we were still holding at 152, I'd say let's just keep holding because the way these bands are forming, we're probably going to consolidate around that 162 to 165 area. And that would be okay profits. I mean, we could still jump back in. We could try a longer trade on this today. So we're going to go, we'll try it. MITQ. Oh, fat fingering everything here. Maybe 158. We'll go for a 165 peak. Now that's pretty close. That's pretty tight. Let's go for 170. I don't know if we'll quite get 170, but we can try. Well, those bands are coming in real tight. Starting to reconsider here. We'll see how the volume looks in a second here. MACD's getting rejected so far. No, I'm out. I don't want to do it. Count me out. Too risky. This is looking more likely to get rejected off that MACD and hit a nasty drop than anything. ACDI hit 280, so we're still doing really well in ACDI. Vlon getting real close to that point where it's going to have to drop if it can't break through, and I think we're getting there. So buyers need to make a real push here. What's the volume at? 800,000 shares a minute. That's not bad. It's got a lot of volume. It's just the conviction on either side is very weak, so it's not really moving. The news on it wasn't very good either. It was pretty meh. What time are these no longer dip buys for the morning? I'm not sure if it's a specific time frame. I think people use a lot of different time frames to dip buy. You could use the 1 minute dips, so like, buying like here would be a 1 minute dip, or if you look on like a 5 minute scale, you'll get a totally different perspective on those dips. Like right here, this would be probably the first major pullback. So people would be buying here on the 5 minute scale. Usually people buy on the first pullback. Sometimes people will buy on the second pullback, and they'll start to leave it around or leave it alone around the third pullback on a 5 minute scale. So whenever those pullbacks happen, like some stocks take forever to have a decent pullback, and then you see it rebound really quickly because you have a lot of traders waiting for that pullback. Yeah, there's still a wall at that 1 or 230 mark on Vlon. I'm not sure we're gonna break through that. HCDI shooting up higher, 285. Looks like we're gonna make quite a bit of money off HCDI here. I'm almost comfortable cutting, but we just made a new high of day, so this could potentially go even higher. It's not looking super likely. We are pretty overextended. We do have pretty erratic volume. I think I'm gonna cut the runner. We're pretty close to the time up for today anyway, so I think I am gonna cut the runner here. That ties up all our trades. Yeah, I'm gonna cut the runner. Cutting the runner on HCDI 285. All right, what's MITQ doing? It did head back down a couple cents. The bands are starting to widen out a little bit. It's still not looking great. I'll be watching the chart today. I might take another play or two on it later if it's looking good. HCDI, honestly, this is looking very bullish right now. We have made higher highs. On a grander scale, this is looking a little bit better. On a 5-minute scale, it's looking pretty great. We're cutting around this price point here, so we're just about at 290 now. You could cut there if you want to. I think this is going to hit a pullback at least down to 270. So we'll see. But other than that, hopefully you all made some money today. And I will see you guys. Well, I'll see the mentorship students on the weekend, and I will see the rest of you guys on Monday. Take care, guys. Okay, so thanks for joining us for our live session today. We traded VLUN, MITQ, and HCDI mainly. We had some wins, we had some losses. Mainly ended up being pretty good today. I think we probably could have traded a little bit more, taken a little bit more risk on HCDI this morning, but it is what it is. We took a few risks. We only made a couple mistakes throughout the day, and that seemed to work out just fine for us. We went up about $29,000 on our challenge today. We started this month with just $5,000. We've had, I don't know, maybe 10 or 11 trading days so far. We've worked it up from $5,000 to $144,000, sitting at a 65% win rate. And our highest win right now is HCDI for almost $10,000. Percentage wise, we went up 52% today, not on the portfolio, but as alerts. And if you'd like to join our Discord, you can just click the link in the description. Thanks, guys.